I know, brother. I know. It's, and seeing all these guys use their platform last night to continue to advance the conversation. As it relates to Tyler Hero, I'll tell you this. I've known him for a pretty long time, Key, covering basketball and in that world. He's always had this swag, and I no longer call him Tyler Hero. His nickname when he was at Kentucky was, I'm a bucket. I'm a bucket. IMABUCKET. That's a hashtag. And that's his name. I'm no longer calling him Hero, Tyler Hero, Hero Basketball. I'm a bucket. Like, that's the kind of swag this kid has had from day one. From day one, since he came to Kentucky. And watching him this series, it's been funny. Like, Jimmy Butler's kind of done his thing here and there, but there's some games he takes like 6 or 7 shots and you're like, okay, Jimmy, like, what's going on? Bam Adebayo, he's a versatility piece. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do his thing. Okay, Bam, I know what you're good at. But Tyler Hero, AKA I'm a bucket, has always been that guy. And the game slowed down for him last night. It slowed down for I'm a bucket. And he was the best player on the floor. What does that say with a team that has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker? I am a bucket is that guy. And he's the reason why the Miami Heat will be facing the Los Angeles Lakers in the NBA Finals.
Wow.
Note that. A rookie is the reason why the Heat will be facing this team in the finals.
Smart man you are, Jay. Let me ask you about Jason Tatum. Only 6 shots in the first half of that game. Obviously, he did better in the second half. Why only 6 shots if you're the leader that we look to on the team?
I don't know, Key. I was watching him play last night, and it was weird. I don't know if he was moving gingerly on that right leg. It didn't seem like he was attacking. And all you heard Brad Stevens talking about, leading into this game was how they didn't need to settle for jumpers, right? He needed to attack the paint. And he didn't really do that in the first half. Second half, he woke up, 28 points. It was like he was a completely different player. But the interesting thing about this Boston Celtics team is that it feels like they're missing something. I don't know if it's the leadership aspect of it. Jason Tatum can hoop. We all know he can hoop. Jaylen Brown is a guy that made shots down the stretch. They kept the game close. Kemba Walker is kind of the leader, but you feel like who's the guy that just gets them together all the time, right? I know who that guy is with the Miami Heat. That's Jimmy Butler, regardless of how he plays. But who is that guy with the Boston Celtics? And I'm watching a kid like I'm a bucket last night just completely take the game over. Like every big possession, bring the ball over here. But at the same time, being passive, giving the ball to Jimmy, fitting it within the style of the offense, whereas it felt with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown came on late, but it's like, all right, you're coming on late though, Jaylen Brown. Kemba Walker trying to do his thing towards the end, okay. It didn't feel like they had that same sense of urgency that you would have expected them to have in a game when they were down 2-1.
Tongue planted firmly in cheek. Jay Will is joining us on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin this morning on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Keys Lakers tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN Radio. What are you looking for there with the Lakers up 2-1 and many people, including Jamal Murray, thinking the Nuggets should be up 2-1?
Yeah, look, Nuggets should be up 2-1, but it is what it is. AD makes a shot. The ball speaks for itself. I would say this to Key, though. It's LeBron and AD need to be the dogs, man. They need to be the alphas on the court. And LeBron had a triple-double last game. AD, I think he had like 26 or 27 points. But Denver dominated the game inside the paint. And also, second unit. Like AD, LeBron can have 30-plus points, but the second unit for the Lakers, they need to bring it. Like you can't have these games where Jeremy Grant goes for 26 points. You can't have these games where Monte Morris is getting wide-open shots in the corner. Lakers need to make shots. They're going to stack the paint once again. That's what Mike Malone did in that game. And guys like Danny Green, guys like KCP, guys like Kyle Kuzma have to be ready to shoot the ball. And they can't settle for threes. Attack the rim, play inside out. If they play inside out, the Lakers should be fine. And if they defend, they should be okay. But if not, we're going to be coming back here and it's going to be tied. It's going to be a tied series if they're not doing that defensively.
Yeah, I hope not.
Jay, do you think in your mind...
I feel you, Key.
Jay Will is joining us here on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. We'll have a very special guest coming up here in a couple of minutes, too, from the WNBA to talk social justice reform. So hang tight for that. Someone that's really, really invested in the cause in a couple of minutes. But let's chat a little more NBA with Jay Will. From your standpoint right now, we had Tony Allen on this morning. As you take a sip this morning, we're keeping you on, talking to you nonstop. We had Tony Allen on this morning, and we asked him, who is the key for the Boston Celtics to try to get back in the series, which resumes tomorrow night on ESPN. You'll be there with the Countdown crew. He, without hesitation, this is not the guy I expected, without hesitation, Marcus Smart. What do you think about that from a defensive guy like Allen to make that call?
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, how many guys can Marcus Smart guard? Like, that's what I would ask TA. Like, TA's always, they put him on Goran Dragic. Last game, he held Goran Dragic to 11 points. Before that, he was guarding Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's a guy that's trying to guard everybody. It also comes out, so now you're going to put him on Tyler Hero, then Goran Dragic could do his thing, then Jimmy Butler can do his thing. So I hear what Tony Allen's saying. I call him TA. I hear what TA is saying as it relates to Marcus Smart, that energy guy, making shots defensively, being that guy that, is the grit and grind version of what they do. But it also comes down to the point, like, other guys need to guard, man. Like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, these guys need to guard. Kemba Walker needs to guard. They have to do it collectively. And right now, sometimes when you watch Boston play, it feels like they're doing it individually. They're not as strong of a collective unit like you see the Miami Heat being.
That's a great point. Like they say in basketball coaching circles, 5 fingers instead of the 1 fist when you come together. One thing I wanted to mention for those that don't know, Tony Allen, intimately involved with the Celtics, a member of the 2008 Celtics World Championship team. Keyshawn, J. Will, Zubin, brought to you by Goodyear. Movement is always driving us forward, whether it's on the track, the court, or on the field. Every move we make, every road we choose to go down, and every single mile marker we pass leads us to find out just how far we can go. Goodyear, more driven. I mentioned...
Jay, you think you got enough trophies behind your head?
Come on, Key. You keep saying that my name is second. You want to take my name off the show. I had to come over here and give you some little clout. Something of what I bring to the table. That's all, Key.
I see you with that
That's all. That's all it says. It's one of these Keyshawn Johnson moments right there, Key.
And beautifully framed, by the way, I might add, over each shoulder. Great stuff.
Just a reminder of what I did in college basketball. That's all.
National Player of the Year and a national champion. You got to flex if you got it. We are joined this morning. Us three are joined this morning by Renee Montgomery. She plays for the Atlanta Dream. She's an 11-year WNBA running. Besides getting her insight, she is intimately involved in the social justice reform effort because she sat out the 2020 WNBA season. We're crowning a champion down in Florida. She sat out the 2020 season to continue working towards social justice and reform on her own. So this is something that is near and dear to her heart. And she joins us this morning on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Good morning, Renee. It's great to have you here. First things first, I just want to kind of get your reaction to the news regarding Breonna Taylor last night.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. My initial reaction was I actually wasn't surprised. I was disappointed, so don't hear it wrong. I was disappointed, but I wasn't surprised because you could see how they were already planning out the scapegoat. It was already being laid out a certain way. So when the verdict came down, well, no verdict came down, but when the indictment came down, I just